All right, let's jump right into this. We're going on a deep dive into digital marketing. It's more than just those annoying ads that, follow us around online. It's a whole system. It's like a whole hidden language that businesses use to, well, to reach us online.
It's amazing how often we don't even realize how much digital marketing is actually going on around us.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere, but we kind of just tune it out.
Yeah. We just think, oh, it's just a few banners here and there, but it's way more than that. It's woven into like almost everything we do online.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's so fascinating to take a closer look and really understand what's going on behind the scenes.
So let's break it down then. When we say digital marketing, what exactly are we talking about?
So basically, digital marketing is any way a company uses the internet to reach potential customers.
Okay.
It's like, well, think of it like the modern day town crier.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of shouting in the town square, they're using the internet to get their message out there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It could be anything from search engines to social media to even email.
It really is everywhere. So it's not just about, blasting out a message to everyone. It's about reaching the right people with the right message.
That's exactly it. It's all about being strategic. It's about finding those people who are actually interested in what you have to offer and then delivering the right message to them at the right time.
And why is that so important for businesses in today's world?
I mean, think about it. It's where the people are.
True.
I mean, how much time do you spend online each day?
Oh, way too much, probably.
Right. We're all constantly connected, scrolling through social media, reading articles, watching videos, buying things. Businesses have to be where their customers are.
Right. Okay, so I imagine there are different approaches within digital marketing, though, right? It's not all the same.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole range of techniques, a whole toolbox, and each one has its own strengths.
Okay, cool. So where should we start?
Well, let's start with SEO.
Okay, SEO. Search engine optimization. I feel like I've heard that term a million times. But honestly, it can still feel kind of mysterious and a little bit overwhelming, all the technical stuff.
Yeah, I get it. SEO can get pretty complex, but at its heart, it's really just about making sure your website shows up when people search for things related to your business.
Okay, so it's about visibility then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, imagine you're that passionate baker we were talking about earlier. They've got this amazing website showcasing all their custom cakes,
Yeah.
but their website's buried, like 10 pages deep in the Google search results.
So no one's ever going to find it.
Exactly. SEO helps them climb those rankings. So when someone searches for like custom cakes or birthday cakes, their website actually shows up.
So how do they do that?
Well, it involves a lot of different things, but a big part of it is using the right keywords.
Keyword.
Yeah, like those phrases people type into search engines. So our baker would want to make sure their website uses words like custom cakes, birthday cakes, wedding cakes, things like that.
So it's about making sure your website is speaking the same language as the search engines.
Exactly. You got to make sure the search engines understand what your website's all about.
Okay. So what else besides SEO can our baker do to get their business out there?
Well, there's content marketing, which is all about creating valuable content that attracts your target audience.
So instead of just, directly trying to sell their cakes, they're giving people something helpful or interesting.
Exactly. It could be anything from blog posts with cake decorating tips to, videos showing how they create their cakes.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it establishes them as an expert in their field.
Whoa.
And people will keep coming back for more.
Okay, so that's content marketing. And I feel like we can't talk about reaching people online without mentioning social media, right?
Oh, absolutely. Social media is huge. It's like every brand has to be there.
It's true. It's everywhere.
It is. And for good reason. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram, yeah, they give businesses a way to connect with their audience in a really personal way.
So it's not just about posting pretty pictures, it's about building relationships.
Yeah, it's about creating conversations, getting feedback from your customers, and even addressing concerns like in real time.
So you need a different strategy for social media than compared to like SEO or content marketing.
Exactly. You got to understand the nuances of each platform. What works on Instagram might not work on LinkedIn, for example.
Makes sense. So we've got SEO, content marketing, and social media. What about when you want to reach out to your customers directly?
Oh, you're talking about email marketing.
Email. It's still around.
Oh, yeah. Email's not dead. It's still incredibly effective for building relationships and driving sales.
I have to admit, sometimes I ignore promotional emails, especially if they feel kind of generic.
I get it. Nobody wants to be spammed. But a good email marketing campaign, It should feel like you're getting a personalized message from a friend.
Okay, so how do you make email marketing feel personal?
Well, our baker, for example, could send out a monthly newsletter with exclusive cake decorating tutorials or, behind-the-scenes glimpses of their process.
So it's about making your subscribers feel like they're getting something special, something valuable.
Exactly.
Uh,
And you can make it even more personal by segmenting your email list, sending different messages to different groups of people based on their interests.
so you're not just blasting out the same message to everyone, you're tailoring it.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already. We've got SEO for getting discovered, content marketing for building trust, social media for engagement, and email for nurturing relationships. But what if they want to see results faster?
That's where PPC advertising comes in.
TPC, pay-per-click.
Yep. That's where you pay to have your website or your ad show up at the top of the search results or on social media.
So it's like a shortcut to the top, but you have to pay for it.
Exactly. And it can be really effective, but you got to know what you're doing.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. It's like a big puzzle, isn't it?
It is. There are so many different aspects to digital marketing, and they all work together to create a comprehensive strategy.
We've only just scratched the surface here, but this is a great start.
It is. And in our next segment, we'll delve even deeper into the world of digital marketing, exploring some real-world examples and seeing how these concepts play out in practice.
Okay, so we've talked about all these different concepts: SEO, content marketing, social media, email marketing, and even PPC advertising. It's a lot. But how does this all work in practice?
Well, the best way to understand it is to see it in action.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring back our baker friend.
Okay, yeah, our passionate baker who's trying to get their online business, off the ground.
Right. They have a website, but nobody can find it.
Exactly. So they decided to focus on SEO.
Right.
And one of the first things they do is optimize their website's title tags and meta descriptions.
Okay. Remind me what those are again.
So title tags are those blue clickable headlines you see in the search results.
Oh, right.
And meta descriptions are those little snippets of text that appear under the title tag.
Got it.
And they basically tell the search engines what the page is all about.
So instead of just having a generic title like home or about us,
Right.
they would use something like custom cakes for any occasion or wedding cake specialists, right?
Exactly. That way, when someone searches for those specific terms, their website is more likely to show up.
Okay, so those title tags and meta descriptions, they're like little signposts for search engines.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They help the search engines understand what your website is all about.
Okay. But you mentioned backlinks before. What are those again, and how do they fit into all of this?
Oh, yeah. Backlinks are super important for SEO. Basically, it's when another website links to your website.
Okay.
And the more high-quality backlinks you have, the better. It's like getting a vote of confidence from other websites.
So if like a popular food blog links to our baker's website.
Right. That sends a signal to Google that the baker's website is a valuable and trustworthy resource, which means Google is more likely to rank it higher.
It's like a recommendation from a friend.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've talked about SEO, but what about content marketing? How can our baker use that to, attract more customers?
Well, they could start a blog.
A blog.
Yeah, and they could share their expertise, write articles about cake decorating tips, different flavor trends, maybe even, share some of their favorite recipes.
So it's not just about selling cakes. It's about, like, providing value to their audience.
Exactly. People love getting free information. And if they find the baker's content helpful, they're more likely to trust them.
And maybe even buy a cake from them.
Exactly.
Okay, and I feel like we got to talk about visuals here because cakes are visual.
Oh, absolutely. Visuals are huge, especially for something like cake.
Right.
High-quality photos and videos can make a huge difference.
So instead of just, telling people how good their cakes are,
Right.
they can show them.
Exactly. It's all about creating mouth-watering content that makes people want to, reach through their screens and grab a slice.
And where's the best place to share all these delicious visuals?
Social media, of course.
Of course.
Platforms like Instagram, they're perfect for showcasing visual content.
Okay. So our baker could create an Instagram account and they could post pictures of their cakes, maybe some behind-the-scenes videos.
Right. They could even host live Q&A sessions where they can answer questions from their followers in real time.
So it's about creating that two-way interaction.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes social media so powerful. It allows you to build relationships with your audience, create a community around your brand.
I like that. So we've got the visuals covered, the blog posts, the social media presence. But what about email marketing? How does our baker keep those relationships going?
Well, that's where that monthly newsletter we talked about comes in.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Instead of just sending out generic promotional emails, you know, buy our cakes,
Right.
they could create a more personalized experience.
Oh, wait, so how do they personalize it?
Well, they could segment their email list.
Mhm.
So they're sending different messages to different groups of people. Like, let's say someone signed up for their email list because they were interested in wedding cakes.
Okay.
Well, then they could send that person emails specifically about wedding cakes. Maybe some behind-the-scenes looks at their design process or, tips on choosing the right flavors.
It makes it more relevant.
Exactly. And it shows that the baker's paying attention to their subscribers' interests.
Okay. Now, I'm curious about PPC advertising. You mentioned it earlier. How could our baker use that?
So let's say our baker is launching a new line of gluten-free cakes.
Okay.
They want to get the word out fast. They could use Google ads to target people who are specifically searching for gluten-free cakes.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so their website would pop up at the top of the search results, even if their organic ranking isn't that high yet.
It's like a quick boost.
Exactly. And they could also use PPC on social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram to target people who have shown an interest in, healthy eating or gluten-free lifestyles.
So it's a way to reach a wider audience.
Exactly.
Wow. So we've got SEO, content marketing, social media, email, PPC advertising. That's a lot of tools in the digital marketing toolbox.
It is. And there's actually one more that we haven't talked about yet.
Really? What is it?
Affiliate marketing. It's all about partnering with other people or businesses to promote your products.
Okay.
So our baker could partner with a food blogger,
Okay.
who has a big following of dessert enthusiasts.
Okay. And how does that work?
So the food blogger would recommend the baker's cakes to their audience.
Okay.
And in return, the baker would give them a commission on any sales they generate.
So it's like having a team of salespeople, but they're not actually your employees.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
The food blogger gets to earn some money, and the baker gets access to a whole new audience.
Okay. This is fascinating. I mean, we've only scratched the surface here, but it's clear that digital marketing is this incredibly complex, powerful world.
It is. And it's constantly evolving, too.
Which makes it all the more important to understand. But, with all this power comes responsibility.
A great point. And that's what we're going to talk about in our next segment, the ethics of digital marketing.
Welcome back. I'm really glad we're getting into this, because we've talked a lot about the tools and the tactics of digital marketing. But there's another side to this whole thing, right? The ethical side.
Exactly. I mean, digital marketing is incredibly powerful, but it's important to use that power responsibly.
So where do we start? What are some of the ethical considerations we need to think about?
Well, I think data privacy is a huge one.
Okay. Data privacy.
Yeah. I mean, digital marketing relies on data, right? It's
Right.
how businesses target their messages, personalize those experiences.
Yeah.
But businesses need to be transparent about how they're collecting and using that data.
So it's not just about collecting data, it's about how you use it.
Exactly. And it's about respecting people's privacy. People should know what data is being collected about them and how it's being used.
And they should have a choice.
Right.
Absolutely.
They should be able to opt out of data collection if they want to.
Okay. So transparency and choice. What else?
Well, I think there's also the issue of manipulation.
Manipulation.
Yeah. I mean, some digital marketing tactics, they can be pretty manipulative.
Like what?
Well, like using fear or scarcity to pressure people into buying something, or using dark patterns, those tricky designs that make it hard to unsubscribe or cancel a service.
Oh, yeah. I hate those. Those are sneaky.
Yeah. And those tactics, they can be really effective, but they're not exactly ethical.
So how do we make sure digital marketing is being used ethically?
Well, I think a big part of it is education. Consumers need to be aware of these tactics so they can protect themselves.
So we need to know what to look out for.
Exactly. And businesses, they need to step up and be more responsible.
Yeah.
They need to prioritize ethical considerations over, short-term profits.
So it's about finding that balance.
Yeah, the balance between being effective and being ethical.
I like that balance. It seems like that's a key theme throughout this whole discussion of digital marketing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's about finding the right balance between reaching your target audience and respecting their privacy. between being persuasive and being manipulative.
Right. It's about using these powerful tools in a way that benefits both businesses and consumers.
Exactly. Because ultimately, digital marketing should be about connecting people and creating value.
I think that's a great place to wrap things up.
I agree.
This deep dive has been fascinating. We've learned a lot about the ins and outs of digital marketing, the good and the bad. And hopefully, everyone listening now feels a little more informed and empowered to navigate this complex world.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us.